is the Sports Dynasty Podcast. I'm Trevor, and this is Juan, and we are back continuing our guide of 2021.
I'm hoping that this camera can see me. I'm pretty sure it can, because we checked, but it's like slanted to my right, and I don't know.
Well,
we'll find out.
We'll find out soon. But anyway, you know what to do. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We're on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play Radio, Stitcher Play Radio, at Podcast Dynasty on Twitter. We are on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you type in our names. Type in the Sports Dynasty Podcast. You'll see us right there. Also, a quick shout out to our good friend Sean Ray, the Cowboys fan you heard in the last episode, for his perfect analysis on the Dallas Cowboys season. And for those who enjoy the NFC East part of the guide, it's also available on, I think, the group, right? Your notes for it's available.
It will be. When all the episodes are done, I will upload our entire thing to 2021. It's going to be uploaded right on the group.
Yes.
And on the business page. It's going to be right there.
Yes.
For everybody to go check out.
We still have a lot of time for the other divisions. So if you still want to join us for our guide, just hit us up and let us know. So far for this NFC North, we have a huge slate of fans who want to discuss their teams in the NFC North. And this
is going to be a long one, guys.
Yeah,
so
it's
buckle
going
up.
to be a very long episode for you guys. So hope you enjoy. So
yeah, if you haven't noticed, I put timestamps in the description on YouTube and descriptions in iTunes and all that. So you know what times to hit when you want to go see a specific team or you want to see the interviews or whatever. It's all there.
Yeah.
So while you go there, you should be rating and, commenting too.
Hell yeah, too.
That helps us.
Just
saying. The more you share, the more you do those things, the more we're going to grow, and the better it is going to be for you at the end of the day, because this is just for you.
This is your podcast.
Yes, sir.
It is. So let's get started with the NFC North.
I don't have to do an intro to this guidance, right?
No,
I don't think I have to.
No, I think we got I think they got the
gist of it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna discuss.
When we do the AFC, I'm gonna do a recap. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, that's smart. Yeah.
We're gonna discuss today the Detroit Lions.
The Detroit Lions.
They finished the season last season at 5-11.
Lucky them.
That's actually a lot more than I thought they were going to win anyway. I thought they were going to win 2.
Yeah, after what they went through. Yeah, I'm surprised it went that far. So offensively, they were ranked 20th, surprisingly. 10th in passing and 30th in rushing. That I can see. Defensively, they were dead last because Matt Patricia things. 30th passing, 28th rushing. And the offseason grade I gave is a C+, surprisingly. You would think it was an E, but it wasn't. No.
Yeah. Or the Detroit, man. Detroit.
Yeah.
Anyways, but they did have some key additions. One of the biggest additions they had was, Dan Campbell was the new coach. Yeah, which is a big upgrade from Matt Patricia.
He was the Saints' assistant head coach last year.
Yes.
So he's been through a couple of, they went through a decent amount last year. So
yes.
He got some experience on this belt with that Saints organization.
And literally anything is an upgrade from Matt Patricia. Let's just be honest.
Literally, we are.
Yeah, literally. Anyway, besides that, players that became key additions. Jared Goff was acquired via trade from the Los Angeles Rams, where they send away Matthew Stafford. Quentin Dunbar, the cornerback, signed a 1-year deal. He played for the Seattle last year.
And he wasn't that bad. He was a lot better in Washington the year before that, though. But he was still a decent player. Running
back Jamal Williams signed a 2-year deal, who previously played for the Green Bay Packers. So he's switching from division rival to another division rival. Linebacker Alex Anzalone, he signed a 1-year deal. He previously played for the Saints. Brashard Perriman signed a 1-year deal. He previously played last year for the Jets. So they sort of added wide receiver help.
They got a deep threat at least. I mean, but that's all he does.
So. And one of the more additions is Randy Bullock, the kicker, signed a 1-year deal. He played for Cincinnati last year. And yeah, that's the key additions. And
if I'm not mistaken, they traded. I hope this isn't wrong. I'm gonna look stupid. That they traded for Michael Brockers, who was actually Aaron Donald's running mate. So he was really, really good. So they traded for that. I think that was early in the offseason,
literally after in March.
Right. I don't even think free agency hit yet when they did that trade. So it was early. That's what people probably don't remember. But he's a good defensive lineman.
A lot of key departures here. They obviously lost Matthew Stafford, who was literally the best franchise QB they've ever had.
Yeah, by far.
And they traded him to Los Angeles Rams. Good luck with him over there. They lost Kenny Galladay. They signed a 4-year deal with the New York Giants. They lost Jamal.
Interesting take on him on the interview later.
Yes,
by the way.
yes. They lost Jamal Agnew. He signed a 3-year deal with the Jaguars. Marvin Jones left for a 2-year deal with the Jaguars as well. Matt Prater, who was their previous kicker, signed a 2-year deal with the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Duron Harmon signed a 1-year deal with the Falcons. The Desmond Trufant signed a 1-year deal with the Bears.
After just 1 year.
Yes. Justin Coleman signed a 1-year deal with the Dolphins, and Denny Shelton signed a 1-year deal with the Giants. So he went from New England Central to New England, New Jersey.
Oh man, at least that coach has promise, unlike somebody else.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. So the draft.
Yes, the draft. Obviously, they picked their number one, their first round pick, number 7 overall, with P9 Sewell from Oregon. Tackle.
Sewell.
Yes, I keep saying his name wrong.
You're not the only one. I've heard of this.
I'm gonna get his name wrong. The second round pick, number 41 overall, defensive tackle Levi Owuzurike. I'm gonna go with that.
I think that's close enough.
Yeah. The third pick,
Owuzurike, yeah.
The third round pick was defensive tackle Alan McNeil. Also in the third round, their cornerback Ifitu Melifonwu. Damn, this is.
I know the last name is 100% right.
Yeah.
I wonder if people listen to this just for this segment.
Again, we're not trying to offend anybody's name. I'm literally trying to get the name correct, so people don't go there. Their fourth round pick on 112th overall was wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, which I heard is pretty good. He's a pretty decent wide receiver in college.
I just want to know why he has a -RA in his first name.
We're gonna talk about that on the off the air. Maybe, I don't know. Linebacker Derek Barnes, and finally running back Jamar Jefferson. I gave the draft grade a C. I think it was not bad. They did obviously fill holes they needed.
If you get Penei Sewell, you go automatically get like the C-.
Yeah,
and then see what you do above that.
But the offensive line definitely improved with Sewell.
Yeah, because for some dumbass reason he fell. So.
Oh yeah, because this is people.
Certain team in Ohio
who just dumb.
Yeah.
And don't want to protect their quarterback. But we'll get to them.
They know the guy who ripped his knee. But yeah, we'll get to them next week.
Yeah, we'll get them next week. Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, 2 weeks. I'm sorry, 2 weeks. My bad. Nice.
Okay, so I
finished
the draft. So,
all right, don't scream at me, Jesus. All right, so this offense just got torn apart, and they're just throwing new stuff there. Everything's new. Everything. Quarterback, offensive lineman, wide receiving core was absolutely decimated this offseason. So they just got signed whatever they can find and drafted a new one. So the only surefire thing they have is TJ Hawkinson, their tight end. That's the only surefire thing they have. DeAndre Swift is going to be in the second year. We'll see how he goes, especially since Kerryon Johnson did leave also because he was never healthy. So DeAndre Swift is their number one tailback. It's on him. That's simple. And Dan Campbell, he's looking a lot more old school than a lot of other coaches. So I'm guessing the running game is going to be key. So DeAndre Swift might have himself a good year. If you guys do fantasy, you may want to look at that.
Also look out for Jamar Jefferson, the running back drafted.
Yeah.
He may get some. Even though he's a 7th round pick, he may get some playing time.
Very possible.
Possibly he'll make the team more than likely. Yeah, that's a good thing right there.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm guessing play action is going to be the biggest thing they're going to use for passing, which is actually up Jared Goff's alley because that's basically all he freaking did in the Rams. So people who may have their stock completely sold on Jared Goff, maybe too soon, maybe possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. I'm not saying they're going to succeed and they're going to be good. I'm just saying in terms of his numbers and all that, maybe it won't drop by so much. Maybe. Kind of all depends on the pass catches. I know he got a dominant tight end. He's going to kick ass this year. I'm just a big fan of T. Hawkinson. So I think he's going to step up real big here. So we'll see. Defensively, their secondary also got decimated.
Yeah. Jeff Okudah is literally, he struggled last year too. So
yeah, he was hurt and then he sucked.
Yes,
yeah.
so,
but we give all of them a benefit of the doubt because their coach was Matt Patricia.
Yes.
And so we'll see what Dan Campbell's got up his sleeve. But I think the biggest key for the defense is going to be that front seven, which goes into the tracks for success. Mm-hmm. That front seven is going to be key. They have Trey Flowers still. That's amazing. So through him, that's the only way that this front seven is really gonna be anything. So with Trey Flowers, Mike Brockers, they drafted 2 defensive linemen in the second round, I think, right? So that front seven, I know for a fact, is gonna be hard as heck to run on them. I don't think they're gonna be getting ran on at all. However, teams may not be able to need to run on them because who the hell's gonna play coverage? That's the question. So that's the thing that scares the ever bejesus out of me. So you get in this division where you got Kirk Cousins, the Statomatic, and you got Aaron Rodgers, who might be pissed off again. So you gotta deal with that 4 times combined.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck.
But as long as the offense plays good old school ball, so they pound the rock, waste the time, hit play action pass to score. If they can follow that old school formula and protect the defense, then they might be on track to win more games than everybody thinks. But I will guarantee you this team is not going to do anything. That's not a prediction. I'm not even going to steal Paul Heyman's line and say that's a spoiler. That's just common sense.
It's a promise.
It's common sense.
It's just, if you watch football enough, you know the Detroit Lions are going to be terrible.
Yeah, sorry, Braxton.
Sorry, Brad. Yeah. He was really good, though. But
yeah, you're going to hear him after this segment because that's one of the interviews we got. But that's how it's going to be. Their line should be really good this year. So that's why I believe in their running game. I think the line is going to be, according to PFF, they're projected to be top 10. So as long as that line is good, Jared Goff is going to be fine. Because once he gets pressured, that's it. So they keep him upright. DeAndre Swift gets blocks. They might be somewhere in the top 12 of offense, possibly. They definitely should be in the top 2 or 3 rushing if this goes on. So that's their plan. Positive prediction. Sorry, I said the highest they can possibly go is 5-12. It's basically the same as they did last year. Until that defense, the secondary gets fixed, I don't know how in the heck they're gonna be able to stop people from scoring 40. Like, to be 100% honest,
I was in the realm of 4 to 5 games.
Is it right?
4 to 5. I look at their schedule as like it's kind of difficult to even give them a few games. I gave them a few games in the division.
Their pass defense is gonna be damn near last again. They don't have the personnel for it, so I don't know. They got no pass rush, no coverage.
My only thing is if I think for Lions fans, if they're able to be competitive in these games, I think okay, it may be 5-12, but they're competitive in all 15 to 17 games because there's some games where it'll be blowouts. If you're competitive in 90% of those games, I think Lions fans will be happy with that.
Yeah, because what your problems are fixable. You just need the players for it. Yeah. So you're gonna have another offseason. You're gonna have another draft. You're going to have people developing, so there's time. You're in a situation where you're going to have to wait about 2 or 3 years of a rebuild before you may see real good results. The problem is what is the Ford family going to do? Are they going to have the patience to keep Dan Campbell, assuming Dan Campbell, it looks good, looks promising, like how Flores did 2 years ago, like how Joe Judge did last year? They're going to be patient to let him work? Or are they going to just be like, you know what, you take it too long, that's it? So... ownership matters.
It does matter.
So,
very good point. This is the Sports Dynasty Podcast. I'm Trevor, and this is Juan, and this is our continuing coverage of the Guide to 2021. We are going to dissect our fan invitational for the NFC North.
I like that, fan invitation.
And we have our diehard Lions fan, Braxton Hills. How's it going, brother?
How you doing?
Doing good, man. We're gonna discuss your Detroit Lions. This is basically a platform for you.
Why are we missing?
To discuss.
Hey, there we are.
Yes. This is basically our platform for you to discuss your predictions for your team. How was your draft? What's your expectations? Pretty much this interviews are all about you. So whatever you call the shots, and that's it.
So let's go question by question. I'll throw everything at once. So we're gonna start with your off-season grade for your team. So tell us about who do you like that you picked up, and your draft. Let's start with that.
All right. Can we start off the draft first, right?
Yeah, whatever you want to start at.
I give the Lions draft an A.
Ooh.
Okay.
And the reason why, because they went off the needs. They drafted a team, and they building They building the right way. They building through the trenches. I love that.
Okay,
Yeah.
good point. Good point.
Definitely
Why I
good.
get the A.
All right, no problem. What about acquisitions in terms of free agency? Like, did you pick up anything that you like?
I like the addition of Jamal Williams coming over to the team.
Okay.
Making your rivals a little bit weaker, right?
Yeah.
For one. All right. Not bad, not bad.
Yeah.
So what about departures? Because there's quite a few departures that you had, like King Galladay, for example, Marvin Jones leaving. You lost a couple of people. What do you think about that?
I would love to kept Marvin Jones, but Kenny Galladay, I really don't care for him really like that no more because
Interesting. No, interesting.
the reason why I say this, he kept saying he was hurt last year, but he wasn't, and he just wanted the money, so he didn't even want to be on this team. So forget him. I don't want players that don't want to be here.
Okay,
Well, that makes sense.
All right. I feel you, man. I feel
You
you.
got the heart of a lion. No pun intended. Yeah.
Totally pun intended.
Yeah,
Stop lying.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, man. That's pretty good.
There is one acquisition and departure both happened.
And I said the steal of the draft for the Lions on their team that they drafted will be to look out for will be Ahmad Rod St. Brown from USC.
The wide receiver.
Oh.
The wide receiver. Yeah, he mentioned that in before the conference we had before that he feels that he's going to be still the draft. He feels that it's a weapon that not a lot of people have glossed over, but he feels that this could be something, especially for your newly acquired quarterback.
This is where I was going to.
And Jared Goff. I know you spent most of your time, all the years you've been a Lions fan, you've been synonymous with Matthew Stafford. What he's been for the organization, and him being traded to the Rams. How do you feel life without Stafford would be, and do you have the confidence?
I feel like I have confidence in Goff. He's a winner. And another thing is that the Lions ain't gonna ask him to do what they did with Stafford. They're gonna run the ball a lot anyways. We're gonna be a first run team anyways. That's what I want. And I want to be a smash mouth run team.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm guessing you're
the play action.
Okay. So that's basically what was happening with Goff back in the Rams in the first place, like to run the football and run through play action, right?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you like your coaching acquisition then.
Yeah.
Campbell.
Yeah.
I'm about to say that too.
Yeah.
I like
because one of the more interesting press conferences I've ever heard in memory, to say the very least. Yeah. I'm glad you remember that. So Smash Mouth. Do you think though that kind of football is outdated?
No.
Okay.
No. Can you explain why?
I like when the last time the Lions was a running team, we was a good team. Is this when we had? I know we don't got no Barry Sanders on this team, but at all, because nobody will ever be close.
Nobody is Barry. Yeah, so nobody is Barry Sanders.
But yeah, the last time Lions was good is when they ran the ball, and that's when we had Barry Sanders.
Okay, all right.
And that's what I want to be, a run team. Like at the time, we could have been much better with Barry if we had a better quarterback. And I say this, Jared Goff is better than Scott Mitchell and the quarterbacks Barry Sanders played with.
That's 1,000% facts.
That's facts.
No question about that.
That is facts.
Yeah.
What about defensively? You lost
I feel like the guy we drafted with our second pick, they're saying that he was one of the best defensive tackles in the whole entire draft. They comparing him, they saying that he's a poor man's. I hope he's like this, but I don't know if he is or not. I think he's going to be a stud because I watched film on him. Levi, I can't pronounce his last name right.
Yeah, he's a defensive tackle.
The Lions always draft guys that have weird names. Levi Ogorike. I have a hard time with the name.
We'll find out when he plays.
It's Levi. but they saying that he's a poor man's Aaron Donald. He is good. He is good. I hope he is like a poor man's Aaron Donald. But like, I think he's a good defensive tackle. Both of the defensive tackles we got are good. We drafted, but I think Levi's gonna be better than McNeil, the guy we drafted, third pick.
Okay. Wow. What about your defensive secondary, though? Your corners and safeties, because you lost that front, so you just have.
I like our corners. I think Okuda's gonna have a bounce back year.
Okay.
I think Amani Aurora should have a good year. Tracy Walker, he probably gonna have a good year under good coaching. I think the whole scheme sucked under Matt Patricia. But
what a guy.
The only position I'm worried about really on our defense is probably strong safety, because Will Harris is terrible. Terrible.
Okay.
So strong safety, that's a big question mark for me.
All right, no problem. So let's go with your tracks to success. So you already reiterated about strong trench play and strong running game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what about, you don't want anything else from other positions? Like, because for example, what do you want from TJ Hawkinson, for example? Or what do you want more from Jared Goff? Do you want just play action from him? Or is there something else you want him to add to the game? Or what do you think you have to do to reach your highest potential as a team?
I think TJ Hawkinson, he might have to work on a little bit of stuff, but not by much. Hawkinson's going to be better than he was last year. I'm saying this now. I think he's going to have a way better year than he had last year. I think they need to upgrade his Madden ratings into a 90, because I think he's going to be that good this year.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. What about the rest of the team? So what else do they have to do to reach their highest potential?
And the other question mark I might have on the Lions is right guard.
Okay.
He might be better at right guard, but I don't know. Time will tell. He sucked last year at right tackle, the dude we picked up from the Eagles, Big V. We moved him to right guard, but I don't know if he's going to be good there or not. I have question marks about him right there.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's his natural position, actually. So he should be better. I'm not going to promise nothing.
Yeah.
He should be better. What about DeAndre Swift? In order for you to have a good running game, you need a good back.
I think Swift's going to be a beast, like advertised, at right tackle. Center, I don't got nothing to worry about, because Frank Ragnall's
really good. Yeah,
Frank Ragnall's the best center in the league.
Yeah,
to a lot of people. So I don't got no question marks about him.
His paycheck says so.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But Swift, I think he's gonna have a bounce back year.
Okay, no problem. So then now, what do you think your ceiling is going to be? Meaning, what you think is going to be your team's highest potential record-wise?
I think the Lions could.
Remember, it's the ceiling, not your prediction. We're going to do that last. I want to know what you think is the highest you can reach. And please don't say 16-0. Oh, 17-0, rather.
If they can be coached right, be prepared, the Lions could probably be 11-win team, maybe.
11
but
and 6.
At the worst, maybe 8 wins or 7 or 6.
Ooh, that's strong.
At worst.
Ooh. So now, what do you think is going to actually happen? What is your actual prediction for your team this year?
I think we're going to be a better team we was last year. I think that Dan
I would hope so.
Have a better record than Matt Patricia's first year.
Yeah, because
I don't know what Matt Patricia's record was his first year. I think 3-4 wins. I don't remember.
Matt Patricia?
Yeah, I don't remember.
He was 3 wins. They 3 wins. I think he started off 2-1 and then pretty much lost out. Yeah. Because I remember they beat the Patriots in week 2 of 2018.
Oh, yeah. His first season, he won 3 because they went 3-12-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tie with the Cardinals. Yeah. They won 3.
Now, Now, my question for you, Braxton, is what do you think? What is your point of view in the state of the NFC North? Like, you're a Lions fan, you have to play these teams literally 6 times a year. What is your view of the state of the NFC North?
I don't. I think Green Bay, we always gonna have problems with them because of the officials. So I think
the official.
Oh, damn! Hot take.
So Green Bay will probably sweep us, maybe, or we might split. I don't know. Minnesota, I think we might split with them.
Okay.
Chicago, I think we're gonna sweep them because we should have really swept them last year, week 1.
I think he might be right. I definitely know the first week you should have beat them. That I know for facts.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the second,
DeAndre Swift dropped touchdown pass.
But we shouldn't. I don't even want to blame Swift on that game because he shouldn't have been in that predicament. It was coaching that lost us.
You're right.
Prater,
you're 100% right.
Matt Prater missed field goals. Like, I don't really.
Yeah, you're correct.
But Swift was nervous in that game too.
That was his first game. That is true. That's a good point.
Yeah, like, I think we're gonna sweep the Bears this year. I think we might split with Green Bay or Chicago. But I think we're gonna not Green Bay and Chicago. I think we're gonna split with Green Bay and Minnesota. But I think we're gonna sweep Chicago.
Okay. That's not far fetched. Actually, it's not crazy to say.
And I think with the Bears, like, Justin Fields don't scare me because I already know the Bears are terrible at developing quarterbacks.
We know that.
I think he's gonna be a bust.
Besides your division games, is there a game on your schedule that sticks out to you and says, hey, that's what I want? Like, this is a game that I'm looking forward to the most.
The game I'm looking forward to the most, who I want to beat, is the Rams. Yeah.
Oh, beat Matthew Stafford. All right. Okay. I like that one. I forgot that they played.
And the reason why I say this, though, don't get me wrong, I like Stafford. I have his Lions jersey still. I still like Stafford. It's just that I don't like these Matthew Stafford Lions fans that say, oh, I'm a Lions fan, but soon as Stafford leave, they be like, fuck the Lions, I'm a Rams fan now.
Oh, it reminds us of someone, doesn't it?
It doesn't remind us.
We went through that last year. Yeah.
I like them type of fans. I'm a Lions fan. I stay with my team, and no matter who's my quarterback,
respect.
I'm gonna support Jared Goff regardless, as long as he's a Lion.
I gotcha. Respect.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Other than that, have you got any more questions?
No, but you never gave us a record. What do you think you're actually going to do? A record.
I think we actually gonna do.
Yes.
I gotta go off the schedule who we play.
Top of the head, then. What do you think?
I'm calling the upset. I think we're gonna beat the 49ers week 1.
Oh, okay. I like that. Hot take. Let's go.
Bold it's prediction. Week 1, dude. Like, anything could happen in week 1. So,
yo, bold prediction. I like that.
And
you gotta go through the whole schedule like that. Just give me a record. You're gonna go what? 8-7, 9 and whatever, 10 and
we might 7. Start off,
like
we might start the season 1-2.
Because trying to compute this.
We play Green Bay and we play Baltimore.
Oh, that's sweet tough.
And then
that is kind of brutal.
Hold on. I forgot who else we play. Let me pull up the schedule.
Okay. No, I respect it.
I respect it. Okay.
Who else did we beating? I say that we're gonna be. Let me see. I say we beat the 49ers week 1. Week 2, we lose to Green Bay. Week 3, we lose to the Ravens. Week 4, beat Chicago.
Okay.
So that's
500.
2 wins, 500. And then we go to Minnesota. I say I give that a loss because Minnesota's a tough place to play.
Okay.
So I give that, we're 2-3.
Mm-hmm.
And then I give we beat the Bengals week 6.
Okay. 500 again.
And then I'm going to call the upset. I say the Lions beat the Rams week 7.
Okay,
I like that. I like that.
3. Let's see what happens from there. All right.
And then we beat the Eagles week 8.
All right.
That's actually not too far fetched. Yeah,
5-3.
5-3.
And then I say week 9. Week 9 we have a bye. Week 10, I say that I think we're gonna beat Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh don't really have an offensive line. I think we're gonna beat them in the trenches.
6-3, and that's 100% facts. They don't.
And then I say we lose to Cleveland week 11.
Okay, 6-4.
Because Cleveland's a scary team. So I say week 12 we beat Chicago at home.
That's 7-4.
I think we're gonna sweep Chicago. Week 13, I give the Lions a win at home against the Vikings.
8-4.
And then week 14, I give the Lions a win against the Broncos.
9-4. Okay.
9-4. Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Week 15, I give the Lions a loss. I think we'll lose to Arizona.
9-5.
And then week 16, I say we beat the Falcons.
10 wins so far.
10 wins. All
5.
right.
We got 2
okay,
more.
Okay, 2 more.
And then I say we lose to Seattle because we have a hard time beating Seattle in Seattle. And then the last game of the year, I say the Lions beat the Packers.
So 11-6. He's
Yeah,
11 wins. Okay.
And that was your ceiling.
That was your ceiling. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
all
right.
For your sake, like I said.
I hope that happens. I hope it happens.
I mean, some of the games you mentioned, I can see the real possibility, but especially the Cleveland game is a very scary game. They're going to be very scary this year, but
I like the Pittsburgh one.
I like the Pittsburgh one too. You mentioned as far as their.
I say we beat the Rams because I don't want to say we're going to lose to them because I want to beat Stafford. So
I feel you. We feel the same way about Brady. So
I know. Yeah, I play him too. But other than that, man, we appreciate you, brother, man. Thank you so much for the interview, man. You were great.
You're great.
I ask you some questions.
Oh, ask us
when
questions.
Did y'all see Mac Jones starting this season?
Not spoil things. We'll get to the Patriots when we get there. You'll hear it.
And this is my other prediction I want to make. I think Mac Jones will have a better career than Justin Fields.
Oh, okay.
Because the Patriots, they know how to develop quarterbacks. The Bears, they don't know how to develop quarterbacks.
Yeah, they literally never had a good one. So that's true.
Yeah, that's totally true.
All right. This was wonderful.
Wonderful, Braxton, brother, man. We appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for gojoining us. And we gotta I'll get you back on real soon, brother, man. We gotta have you a little soon.
100%. If you guys want this opportunity that Braxton just blew out of the freaking park, let us know, guys.
Let us know. This is your podcast at the end of the day. You know, you can be part of the guide or any other stuff you want to do. Just hit us up. At the end of the day, we're here for you guys. So other than that,
all right, we're back on to the guide.
See you soon, guys. That's pretty much
all right.
Right there. Next up,
Minnesota
is the Minnesota Vikings. They finished the season last year at 7-9. They were decimated by injuries on both sides of the ball.
That's a theme of last year.
Yeah, so you know, the Vikings.
Yeah,
they
were 11th on offense. Of course, they were 14th in passing and 5th in rushing. Dalvin Cook was just a freaking monster, and you know, Kirk Cousins likes numbers. So defensively, they were 29th. Duh. 25th in passing, duh. 27th in rushing, duh. The only person they had in front 7 was Evan Kendrick, and he's a coverage guy, duh. So yeah, their defense was absolutely disgusting. However, a lot of that was because of injury and or opt-outs. So yeah.
Okay, the key additions. Well, there's a couple of key additions here.
I give him a B+.
Okay, a couple of key additions here. They signed Dalvin Tomlinson, who signed a 2-year deal, who previously played for the New York Football Giants.
Good run stuffer.
Very good run stuffer. Our former All-Pro cornerback. They signed Patrick Peterson to a 1-year deal. He previously played for the Cardinals and has been. I'm going to be honest. He's been utter crap for the last 3-4 years. He's been trash.
He's been trash as what, 16?
Yeah, 16
or 17. Around there is when he starts to drop off. One of those 2 years.
Yeah. So yeah. We'll get to that in a second. They also signed defensive tackle Sheldon Richardson signed a 1-year deal. He previously played for the Browns.
Decent player.
They signed Xavier Woods, who signed a 1-year deal. He previously played for the Cowboys. They also have 2 more corners. One, Mackenzie Alexander from the Bengals, and Brashad Breeland,
who's
from
actually pretty
the
good.
Kansas City Chiefs.
They're like their one good corner. Like he was pretty good. I'm saying, so I love who they signed. They bolstered up this defense crazy. So I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
Yes. So they definitely did. Add on the depth for the cornerbacks because we come to the key departures. We have.
Oh, yeah, I gotta add that.
Yeah. Key departures.
I gotta update
because
this.
they lost recently. They just lost their
first round pick from
last year.
Jeff Gladney because he wanted to hit. It's because he wanted to hit women, right?
Yes, for domestic violence and literally threw his career away like an idiot. So he's gone.
That's why you don't hit women. Look, why?
Keep your hands.
Don't hit anyone. Yeah, like
what's up, guys? Really ridiculous.
Especially when you're rich. Like, don't do that. That's the surefire way to lose your money.
Anthony Harris, the safety. He signed a 1-year deal with the Eagles.
That's a big loss.
They lost Kyle Rudolph to the Giants. They lost Riley Reif to the Cincinnati Bengals. At least they got some help in the offensive line, so that's okay. Eric Wilson, they lost. The team went to the Eagles. Ifedi Ogdenigbo. I think I said his name wrong again. Whatever. He signed a 1-year deal with the Giants. And running back Mike Boone signed a 2-year deal with the Denver Broncos.
He was also a pretty good backup running back. You know, Dalvin Cook's not the healthiest guy, so having him was really nice. But see,
the draft, the number 1 draft pick they picked, 23rd overall, which was for me that one pick alone was an A+ for the first round. They signed Christian Darrisaw,
which is why losing Riley Reif didn't really matter.
Yes, the offensive tackle from Virginia Tech. The round 3, they signed Kellen Mond, the quarterback from Texas A&M.
Backup plan.
I guess. If you call it that, let's be honest. No. If you're a Texas A&M fan,
I'm done.
And if you watch SEC football, no, Kellen Mond is not good. But if you think he's the heir apparent to Kirk Cousins, then you guys are gonna be really garbage for a long time. I mean, they do have Jake Browning and Nick Stanley from Iowa as on the team too, but we get to that in a second. Chaz Surratt, the linebacker from North Carolina. They got Wyatt Davis, the guard from Ohio State. Patrick Jones II, the defensive end from Pittsburgh, pretty good pick. Kenny Nwangu, the running back from Ohio State. Cameron Bynum, the safety from California Berkeley. Janarius Robinson, the defensive end from Florida State. Amir Smith Marset.
It was a big draft, yes.
The wide receiver from Iowa. Zach Davidson, tight end from Central Missouri. And their final pick was Jalen Tiedemann, the defensive tackle from Pittsburgh. Their draft, I gave the draft a B. I gave it a B. I think it was the Christian Darrisaw pick was actually what they needed. I like the Patrick Jones pick from Pittsburgh. I think he's a pretty solid player. He played for Pittsburgh last year. I think this is pretty good.
For having that many picks and getting a B is impressive.
Yeah.
So last year, I'm almost ready to throw away last year's defensive performances down the toilet because, again, what year did we have? We got opt-outs, injuries, COVID, you know. It's Mike Zimmer. I'm willing to forgive Mike Zimmer for 1 year of garbage, especially when your best defensive lineman, I'll say, not player, because Aaron Kendrick's the thing, and Daniel Hunter wasn't there, so it's kind of hard to get pass rush. It's kind of hard to get any type of push on defensive line when the only defensive lineman you had was gone. So he's back, and is he signed too? I don't remember if they signed him. I remember there was contract problems.
Of Daniel Hunter?
Yeah.
I believe he signed.
I think he signed. Yeah, so they're fine there. So they got him back, and as you hear, they invested very heavily in that defensive line. And their opt-out last year, Pierce should be back. The old Baltimore nose tackle should be back. So they're loaded up front now. At least run stuffing wise and just getting a push. Maybe not pass rush, but the rest, yes. And I believe Anthony Barr will be back also. Because if you remember, he wasn't there. Mm-hmm. So they're loaded. Very loaded like they usually are. It's the backfield that we all have the questions about. Now, with a good front seven usually is able to mask a bad secondary depending on who you're playing against. So you got Patrick Pearson, who's, not good. And you gotta, but you do have new veterans now on that cornerback crew, not just all babies like they had last year. Plus, of course, you have Harrison Smith, and then you sign another safety in Xavier Woods. So you got veterans everywhere. So as long as Mike Zimmer, who I believe is defensive genius, puts it together, this defense might be top 5. So if that happens, this team is going to be A-OK in back-end playoffs where I can argue they belong. But that's a lot of ifs. We'll see. But what's the point of this, right? Of course, everything's ifs. So that's basically the track for success, at least defensively. Now, offensively, their line has been sucking for a long time. So that Darrisaw pick has to hit, and it has to hit soon. It doesn't hit, then Houston, we got a problem. That one could good luck. Kirk Cousins, good luck. But they do have Jefferson, who gets open in like not even a second. So maybe that won't work, and that won't really happen. My key factor is not the offensive line and the offense, though. It's actually tight end Irv Smith Jr. He starts kicking ass, this offense is going to be a massive issue. So I can argue this will be one of the more complete teams in the league. I can argue if all things hit. So this is not the worst roster. It's not that bad a roster. Actually, it's pretty good. So if offensive line is good, if Irv Smith becomes at least a decent tight end, at least, and the front seven kicks ass. Those 3 things hit, this Vikings team is a problem. They're going to be at least as good as they were in 2019. At least. Maybe more.
I have them there, I think, as best case scenario of 9 wins. 9 wins, worst case scenario is 7. Their schedule is actually very, very
it's difficult.
Very difficult. You got to play the NFC North. You play the NFC North, your division. You play the AFC North. And
that's Baltimore Steelers, who's not sure.
And they play NFC West as well.
Cleveland, there you go.
Yeah, and they play Cleveland as well. Oh yeah, they play
the North. I'm saying, so they know. And you said where?
And NFC West. They play
they play the best division argument in football. Great.
Yeah, so
that's
a tough division. Tough schedule.
Me, I had them. The highest is 10. So one more, but that should give them a wild card spot if they do that. I think again, if all those things check, they're going to be formidable and real hard to beat. They'll be able to hit those teams. They'll be able to beat them. They'll be able to beat, especially depending on where they have to go. They'll be able to beat the Ravens of the work because they're already loaded when it comes to run defense. They just need to stay disciplined. So they're able to slow down Lamar's run game, and then we'll see. So they have a chance. It's just that we just gotta hope it's not in prime time. Otherwise, the Baltimore Ravens defense is gonna get like 3 touchdowns. Yeah. But yeah, otherwise we're good. We're good. So I got 10, you got 9, right? That's their ceiling.
Yes. This is the Sports Dynasty Podcast. I'm Trevor, and this is Juan with continuing coverage of the guide to 2021 with the NFC North. Today we have Mama Vikings, Carrie Zapata. How you doing?
Very good, thank you very much.
Doing good. Yeah, this is great. This is wrapping up. We're about to wrap up the NFC North portion of the guide, and you are our final guest for the division. So let's get started. Let's get started right now. But before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe. iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio.
You know this is during the episode. You have to do this.
Damn. Yeah, I forgot. My bad. So we edit that part out. Okay. So let's get started.
Oh, so this is on iHeartRadio too?
Yeah, we're basically available on all
everywhere
streaming sites. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll send you the you're part of our group too, so you probably see it on the group as well.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, so let's get started.
And get this started, right? So
yes.
The guide. What we're gonna ask is how you liked your offseason as a whole. So let's start with is there any departures that you may have not been so happy about losing from your team?
Yes. Harrison, when he went, as a matter of fact, 2 of them went to Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, now I can't think of his name now.
One of them is Anthony Harris, yeah.
Yep, and the other one is Eric Wilson.
Ah.
And they both went to Philly. That's probably the 2, because Anthony Harris is also a very big fan favorite also.
Mm-hmm. Also very underrated.
Yep.
Very underrated. One of the better safeties that in the last few years, actually. People don't know about him, but he's always graded high.
Yeah, he's always stayed off the radar, but yet he was there in key plays.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And which allowed Harrison Smith to go down in the box and do what he wanted to do. So
yeah, and then, Harrison Smith, he was actually getting kind of, like, gave him a little bit of room to do his thing. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
if you ever noticed that Harrison Smith usually babysits, but he kind of let him
Yeah.
started like
100%.
does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes
it
perfect
does.
sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's exactly what happens.
Uh-huh.
What about any acquisitions? Anybody coming into the team that you
I
enjoyed?
like that we got Patrick Peterson, which I think, you know, he's a good veteran, and he's going to actually be a good person to help cut our younger boys in the corners also, and also he's going to give quite a bit of help out there in the backfield. Also, Xavier Woods, I think, is going to be a good one with Harrison Smith. Kind of took that Harris's spot, I believe, in Wilson. So this guy's going to be a big help for him, I believe.
Gotcha. That's a good one. That was a good pickup out of Dallas, Xavier Woods. What about your draft? Any key players?
Our
you like?
draft?
Mhm.
Oh my God, they hit every dang hole we had.
Not
I
bad.
mean, really, I mean, you know, they said we had to actually go to offense. Don't do, you know, because, you know, if you guys know who, you know, our GM is Slick Rick, he always likes corners first. And he always likes defense first, but he actually went to offense for a change.
Mhm.
And he went to the tackle, and there was Christian Darrisaw in Virginia Tech, and he sounds like he might even be an impact, making a starter right off.
All
So
right.
he's said that
absolutely.
he's doing with the number one team up there right now in camp.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Doing-
So last year was possibly a bit of anomaly defensively since Daniel Hunter was gone. No pressure was being had. The corners were all like under 22 years old, so there was
Right.
no continuity at all from last year. So what do you expect to see this year defensively under Mike
Oh,
Zimmer?
well, you know, they're the rookies and, you know, the young folks, they were actually throw it out there to the Wolves. But I think what they did, you know, was actually Zimmer's first time ever since we acquired him in 2014. It was the first time he never had a number one or a top 10 defense, but it put them so it got them young boys experience. And I think that we can throw it out there and here's your job. You know, you practice it, now do it.
Okay.
Kind of. And but we, you know, now Hunter's back, and then now Pierce, he's back. The one from the Ravens, but he opted out last year
Yeah.
because of his asthma. He's back, and he's having a good camp.
Good. It's good to hear. Big run stuffer.
And so he's going to be on one end, and then what is that Patrick? Who is that other one that we got? I'm trying to think of. There's some other ones that sounds like that's gonna be doing pretty good out there.
Patrick Jones, the defensive end
Michael
for
Pierce, that's his name, not Richard Pierce. Michael Pierce.
Yeah.
I always wanted, because I always think of Richard Sherman. I can't think, you know, I know that's a different situation,
No
but I
problem.
know it's Michael Pierce. Jalen, Taiwan or someone. Jalen, he come and played some last year also too. He sounds like he's gonna kind of with, you know, and give Michael Pierce a rest. You know, he'll be kind of going in anywhere with him as Watts. And on defensive end, it'd be, of course, Daniel Hunter starting, but Hercules Mustafa, if he can stay healthy again this year, he kind of ins and out with Daniel on the end there also. And then you got Tomlinson, and you remember Jamison Robinson? His name came up quite a bit also.
Okay.
Out there. And then, of course, in our linebacker position, we're Priest out there,
Of course.
and that's Kendrick.
Kendricks and of course, yeah, definitely.
And then, you know, on the outside there, you got Anthony Barr,
Yeah.
which, you know, they were actually,
Anthony Barr. I forgot Anthony Barr. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, he was out last year
Yeah, he
too because
was.
he had that rough up there. And you know, Eric and Kendricks and Barr, they kind of feed off each other because they knew each other from college. They were roommates in college. Were the Barr that got drafted first and said, "Hey, I want my buddy Kendricks," and then that's how they've been together for a long time.
All right. See, this is why we do the fan
Yeah,
interaction, because this is stuff that I had no idea about. I'm not gonna lie.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
they went to UCLA.
So let's move to the offensive side of the ball, because the elephant in the room is Kirk Cousins, and I'm not talking
Well,
about.
I'm a fan. I mean, it's either you're a fan or you're not.
Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
that.
I feel that. Yeah,
But time might be running out with him soon. And I'm not talking about this COVID. I'm talking about for the following year in the future. Is there going to be a backup plan, or do you think he's going to wind up remaining a Viking for the foreseeable future?
I don't know. But otherwise, what choice we have? Mannion, he's gone, so that's our other one. Otherwise, we got Browning, we got Nate Stanley, and then now this year we got Maud, and then we got two other ones. I don't think they're just using they're called temporary, because of that COVID stuff. But I don't know. I like the guy. He throws up great numbers, but people got to realize that this is his fourth year with Minnesota. He actually had 4 or 5 years with Washington. Can't remember. So
about 4 or 5 years. Yeah, about 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, see, most of that numbers that Monday night losses came with them. He's actually won in prime time with us twice, one on a Monday and a Thursday night.
Yeah, at least that happened. Yeah.
And he did win over the Saints. At least he got a one playoff win too. So he's getting over the hump, but he's just, he hasn't just played with the Vikings. You guys, they forget about his Washington numbers, and he carried them to Washington to a playoffs, and he didn't have nothing like he has with Minnesota. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Amongst your fan base, especially for Vikings fans, from the us being from the outside looking in, how do you feel about your coaching situation? I know some people talk about Mike Zimmer, pretty much on the hot seat. I'm not too sure about that, but what do you think about Mike Zimmer?
No, I don't think he is either, because it's not only a coaching, but it's just not it's a coach's fault. It's a team effort, and the team as the defense, as a team, and the ownership, they all like Zimmer. Zimmer gets a lot of respect for players out there. Remember Deion Sanders always giving him preps about how good he was, because he was a coach with Deion Sanders with the Cowboys, and then he went to Cincinnati and into Minnesota. Mm-hmm. So he's got the respect for the players. So I don't know, but it's organizational decision. So
okay,
I don't know.
So
I say no. But
okay. So your tracks for success. What do you think your team has to do in order to reach your highest potential?
Cohesiveness.
Okay.
We have to be cohesive. You got all the pieces together. On paper, we got a long ways to go. But you can do it on paper, but now you got to make, you got to make the tick tock and it talk tick. And so, does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Okay.
And so if, we already know that Kirk Cousins and Jefferson and Thielen's got it. He's already got it with Irv Smith, and then now you get to get the line together so they can play together. And if they can get, where like Darisaw, if he can get where he was like in college last year, never proved, allowed a sack, and you allow Cousins some more time, you give Cousins time, watch out. Jefferson's going to get open, and Thielen's going to get open. And then if you start establishing your passing game, what does that open up? And who's right behind him? Do you guys know running back Ben Cook?
Dalvin Cook. Oh, definitely know about that. I know Green Bay knows about him.
Yep, and then we got one other guy that's I believe might have a standout season, is because now that Rudolph is gone, Irv Smith Jr. He was a better blocker than Kyle Rudolph also, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get involved more. And then you got the other tight end, Conklin, out there too, that people don't talk about much, but he's made some appearances last year also.
Yeah, I agree with you. Irv Smith has to make a big jump, especially for the offense to click the way it should. Definitely has to. So what do you think your highest record will be? Not what you think as in your prediction. What do you think is the highest record you can achieve as a team?
Well, as a team, we'd done it before back in 1998. Remember when the Vikings went 15-1, but they had every piece in place, and they had the best defense, and I've been kind of hearing people comparing this team to that one, but we ain't got no Randy Moss or nothing. But you never know what Jefferson is right now, right?
Yeah.
Who is he compared to right now?
Randy Moss, because he broke his records last year.
Yeah,
basically.
Right. So, but it kind of makes sense. And then you remember on the other side there was Chris Carter, and Chris Carter was known for his what? Hands. And who is Thielen known for? His hands. So can you see where it's going?
I like that. Decent comparisons. So let's go with your actual predictions. Where do you think your Vikings are going to go this year?
I said 12-5, but if you stay healthy.
Ooh, 12-5. So hopes on that defense. I know the offense will be fine. Defensively,
yeah,
what
but
do we need?
but I mean, the rookies, Danzler, he come out heavy pretty good, or come out strongly last year. Also, remember, Danzler was the name you heard really, and he was thrown out there. And you know how Zimmer didn't like them rookies starting,
No.
but Gladney got released now, and he had some. But I hope that it comes out better in his, for him. But we got a real tough schedule. I mean, our first games are going to be against Cleveland, Cardinals, Seattle, Browns, right off the get-go. And Cleveland's away, Cardinals away, Seattle's at home, and Browns is at home.
Oh, you mean the Bengals? Oh, yeah, speaking of, glad you mentioned that. Is there?
Yeah, Cincinnati. Yeah, sorry.
My question for you is: I'm glad you mentioned the schedule. Is there a particular game that's not only for your division, your non-divisional games? Is there a game on your schedule that sticks out to you the most, that you look forward to the most?
Yep, but I'm gonna be there. Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know why, right? Two great defenses going together right there, right?
Okay.
And two good quarterback. I mean, Lamar's more running, but he's more new school and Kirk Cousins old school. Kirk likes to do the pass. So but the defense is gonna be a good defensive game, and yeah, I'll be there.
Okay.
Okay,
we need to finish. What do you think? In your point of view, the state of the NFC North, like with everything going on in the offseason with all the other teams in the North, with the Lions, the Bears, and the Packers, what is your point of view of the state of the NFC North?
I think what. And I'm not, giving credit to, or discrediting Rodgers, but I think that kind of hurt his team more than anything because, I don't think he's going to have, are we going to trust you? Oh, we already know this is going to be your last year. And are we going to do it for you? Or, but are you, how do you want to say, I'm not discrediting him, but he didn't get out there. He's more worried about playing golf and running around the world. And, and that, I don't know if he got his training in. I don't know what he did. Behind the scenes.
Interesting. It's very interesting.
And is he still going to have that cohesiveness with Adams like yet or not? I don't know. We won't know until when his first preseason game next week.
Yeah.
We'll see if it's going to hurt, be a bust or what. But I mean, I don't know if I'd want to be on that team right now, knowing, say, well, it's going to be my way or the highway. I mean, is that a distraction to your team?
From the past, we know that it has been on many different occasions. So you may have a point there.
And then, because now Adams wants out, and then that defensive guy, I can't think of his name right now. There's 3 people that want out of Green Bay. Why?
It's very interesting about that, too. It's definitely something to think about, though. Definitely something to think about.
Yep.
Well, besides that, Carrie, Ms. Mama Vikings, we appreciate you for talking with us. You were absolutely incredible today. We really appreciate.
I tried.
We absolutely appreciate you joining us. We definitely got to do this again soon, but during the season, so we can get your point of view of how the season's going on so far. But we really appreciate you.
Yeah, I do it anytime now. I guess the first time is just the worst time, I guess.
Nah, yeah, you get used to it. You'll be fine. You were amazing, though.
You were perfect today. Perfect. Absolutely amazing.
All right. Well, I guess I'll see you in the back of the house, I guess, somewhere.
All righty. See you later. See you later, Mama Vikings.
All right. Nice
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
God bless.
Chicago.
The Chicago Bears finished last season 8-8.
Yeah,
they finished
the playoffs somehow.
They got the first 7th seed in NFL history. They lost in the wild card round to the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah,
but
pretty easily too.
But the good thing about that game was
you're not gonna talk about this.
Mitch Trubisky was the MVP, Nickelodeon Most Valuable Player of the game, the first and hopefully the last, because that was terrible, garbage.
They were 23rd offensively somehow, 22nd in passing. I'm gonna say that's Nick Foles, and 25th rushing. And defensively, they were 14th, 12th passing, and 15th in rushing with an offseason grade. I gave them a B. Actually, wasn't that bad.
Key additions to the Chicago Bears: first day franchise tag our guy Allen Robinson, the wide receiver.
Franchise tag, not signed.
Yes,
just franchise tag.
Yes, they franchise tagged him. So he's good.
Yeah, he's right there. See it right there.
They also got Cairo Santos, the kicker. He's re-signed to a 5-year deal. Desmond Trufant signed to a 1-year deal. He previously played for the Lions. Damian Williams signed a 1-year deal. He previously played for the Chiefs. And they signed Andy Dalton, who played for the Cowboys last year.
Yeah, that. They did it, though.
Yeah, they definitely did. Key departures. This will be fun. So much fun. You have Kyle Fuller.
That's a bad one, but they cut him, though. So maybe there's something that we don't know about. There's a reason why they cut him, but they cut him. That's bad.
He signed a 1-year deal with the Broncos. Cordell Patterson signed a 1-year deal with the Falcons.
Okay.
Kyle Long signed a 1-year deal with the Chiefs. Roy Robertson Harris signed.
Wait, he wasn't retired?
No. 3-year deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Because they got somebody out of retirement. Chiefs.
I don't know.
I could have sworn it was him. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, continue.
Charles Leno, the offensive tackle, signed a 1-year deal with the Washington football team.
Their line was garbage last year.
And the big elephant in the room, the Mitchell Trubisky was signed a 1-year deal with
the elephant in
the Buffalo Bills. Cause
you mean the house party everybody had in Chicago when he finally left?
I mean, listen, the elephant in the room because Ryan Pace, you traded up the draft for him.
Again, to this day, if you watch the show long enough, you already know. I don't know why he's employed. Don't get it.
You haven't been fired yet is like really head scratching. But we'll get to that in momentarily.
You're gonna get to that all season.
Yes,
we're gonna destroy him all season like we always do.
But that's their key departures. The draft with this first round pick. Not only did it give us Patriot fans, and well, especially us, if you watched our live show in April,
still pissing me off a little.
Misery when the Chicago Bears traded up to draft Justin Fields from Ohio State. That literally just bought Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace an extra year at most, an extra year. They got Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State, another offensive tackle Larry Borum from Missouri, running back Khalil Herbert from Virginia Tech, wide receiver Daz Newsome from North Carolina, got a cornerback Thomas Graham Jr. from Oregon, and defensive tackle Chris Tonga from BYU. I gave this draft A only because you traded up.
You actually got aggressive and got a good quarterback, not a Trubisky.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish you haven't done that, but that's
the fact that he had the chance to do that's what gets me upset. Cause what GM gets the chance and twice in 4 years to go up and trade up for a quarterback in the first round? What GM has the chance to do that? Now you hear that bull? Are you kidding me?
Now people are saying that for those who are thinking that Justin Fields will start, he's not going to start.
Nope, and he shouldn't.
He shouldn't start. Andy Dalton should be the QB1 starting Week 1 against the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday Night Football. But
why that's Sunday Night Football, I never know. But yeah,
because everything else was taken.
Everything else was taken.
But besides that, yeah, they literally bought them. I give them an A just for that, just for being aggressive and saying you addressed the quarterback position because you definitely needed to. And Ryan Pace is literally GMing for his job this year, and so the coach. They're both probably on the biggest hot seats of the entire league coming into the season. Yeah, because there's no way. We'll get to that more in a second, but the keys to success.
All right. Literally, the second sentence I wrote is Matt Nagy has no excuse. This is it. Good luck. Like, I know Andy Dalton is not the flashiest guy in the world, but he is still. I don't care what happened to that. That was just a ish show last year. He still has the capabilities of putting out something. And since Matt Nagy is supposed to be his offensive guru, then you gotta start making things happen. If I'm not mistaken, you were an Andy Reid disciple, right? I'm 90% sure.
Yes, he was.
So yeah. Not only are you have to coach for yourself, Chicago needs to succeed for Allen Robinson to stay. Since y'all hoaxed him to stay because that garbage franchise tag. Yeah. So that's what you have to be good. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a garbage analysis, but sometimes it's just simple. It's common sense. The line needs to go up because the line that was, I could say, the biggest reason why this offense was even more putrid than usual last year. That line was bad last year, but they got some new players in there. They used 2 of their top 3 capitals of drafting for offensive tackles. They need that bad, so they got to fix that line at least for Montgomery's sake. Like, at least help the man, please. So that's what they have to do, at least in terms of offense. Defensively, they got a lot of veterans coming in, so I'm gonna assume they're gonna be at least top 12, top 13 again. You know what I mean? Khalil's still there. Desmond Trufant's there with maybe not maybe. He definitely is in a better situation. So for replacing Kyle Fuller, like they should be fine there. What they have to do is to make sure that Justin Fields doesn't get in too early. You don't rush him in. Like what we've seen in years past. Tua. And let him ease in. Mm-hmm. If it takes till week 16 for him to start, well then screw it. Let him start week 16. It's all about his development at this point. Because to be 100% honest, I don't know about this offense really, or this roster really being good enough to hit the postseason again. But there's a chance, assuming that Matt Nagy is the Matt Nagy everybody thought he was going to be. That's the key. So actually the key is Matt Nagy. Yeah. Yeah, well, I said if Matt Nagy is as good as he's supposed to be, they can hit 10 wins. It's possible. But something tells me it's not going to happen. But it's not about what we think. It's about what the ceiling is. The ceiling is about 10 wins with the offense playing good, slow-paced football. I don't think they have personnel to play fast-paced. They got to play slow-paced. You got a big receiver. You got a decent running back. The line plays well. And you got an old-school quarterback. Just let the defense do the work. You don't mess up. That's it.
You mentioned the ceiling is 10. I think 8 games.
Usual, yeah.
8 games usual. But I think it would take at least 9 or 10 games for them to keep their jobs.
Yeah, it does. It takes basically a playoff spot.
I think a playoff. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. Yeah, last year the Bears were not a playoff team. They were a playoff team.
Heck no.
They were a playoff team because they made the spot, but
yeah, because the bottom of the NFC was trash. That's why they were a playoff team.
You were only a playoff team because the Arizona Cardinals lost it, and because Kim Curry sucks.
Yes,
he sucks.
We'll be making fun of him next week.
Yes, we are. But yeah, I agree. This is it. If y'all don't make 10 wins and a playoff win, I think a playoff win will be enough for them to keep.
I think you're giving the front office too much respect. I'm pretty sure it's gonna take just the playoff berth and that's it.
I mean, this is why they don't have me there, because I have a lot of good sense.
Exactly.
Why would I reward you with mediocrity? We made the playoffs. You made the playoffs last year. You got your asses kicked. You're playing for your jobs. You're GMing for your jobs. A playoff win lets me know, all right, we're in a step in the right direction. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you've literally been in the playoffs twice and went one and done twice.
Yeah, and lost in the first round twice. So it's like,
one and done twice. I'm saying. So
who cares? Matt Nagy, the flash was in the pan. Now you're exposed, just like your friend down in Arizona. Which he'll be next soon. He'll be out of there soon. But yeah, this is it. This is it for them.
Yeah, basically, not much else to say about this interesting organization. Green Bay,
and finally, the Green Bay Packers. They finished the season last year 13-3, and they lost a heartbreaker in the NFC Championship game at home.
If only they knew how to defend Scotty Miller.
Yeah, against the eventual Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had a very interesting offseason.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
One of the more dramatic off seasons we've seen in some time. I think the last time we've seen something this dramatic was Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a knack for that.
Yeah, almost like 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah. So, offensively, they're ranked first. 9th in passing, 8th in rushing. The 9th in passing, actually, no, that actually does make sense because they weren't that dynamic downfield, but they were very efficient. Defensively, they were 13th, 7th in passing, and 14th in rushing, which makes sense. And a B+ grade for their offseason, believe it or not. Especially now because they actually have the quarterback now.
Their key additions, well, for the most part, they've re-signed Aaron Jones to a 4-year deal. They've signed Robert Tonyan to a second-round tender, so he's able to come back. And Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles is fighting for the number 2 spot, QB2 in this draft depth chart.
Yep, and they got Devontae Campbell, I believe, from Atlanta. Outside linebacker.
Okay, cool. The Padres. Corey Linsley, they signed a 5-year deal with the Chargers.
That was a pretty bad loss.
Yes. Jamal Williams went to the Lions. Montravius Adams signed a 1-year deal with the New England Patriots. Christian Kirksey signed a 1-year deal with the Houston Texans. And Lane Taylor signed a 1-year deal also with the Houston Texans. Wow.
Yeah.
Their draft.
Yeah.
Oh man, so I'm talking about their draft. Well, they found a way to screw and piss off Aaron Rodgers with this one. They got, for their first round pick, they chose Eric Stokes, cornerback from Georgia. Now, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. I don't mind the cornerback depth, but you needed someone for Aaron Rodgers to throw to. Mm-hmm. This is a thought. But you didn't do
they
that.
got Randall Cobb. They good.
Oh, but you should do that. They got Josh Myers, the center from Ohio State. Amari Rodgers, the wide receiver from Clemson.
Which I think is going to be good.
I think it's going to be really good.
I want him to be with the Patriots because he's going to be a really good slot receiver. But
Royce Newman, the offensive guard from...
God for the Belichick knows anything about receiver talent. So.
Offensive guard from Ole Miss. Terrell Slayton, the defensive tackle from Florida. Shamar Jean Charles, the cornerback.
I want to say Shamar Jean Charles.
I think Shamar John. I think it's Shamar. Yeah, I'm going Shamar John Charles. If you're
that
wrong.
French stuff.
Or Creole, whatever. But whatever the point is, the quarterback from Appalachian State, Cole Van Lanen, the offensive tackle from Wisconsin, boo. Isaiah McDuffie, the linebacker from Boston College, and Kylan Hill, the running back from Mississippi State. For lack of a better word, I gave this draft a D. I gave it a D, and I'm being nice, honestly speaking. This is more of like a half, except for Amari Cooper. No, I'm sorry, Amari Rodgers. Rodgers might be the gem of their draft that they got.
I would think that, but then they wound up trading for old as F, injury prone receiver. That's gonna take his snaps away from him.
Just so they wouldn't piss off Aaron Rodgers, which I think was pretty dumb. But yeah. I think for that most part, I gave it a D because first round, you could have drafted a receiver or traded, even when you traded up. You could have traded up whatever you could do to get a receiver, but you chose not to. Instead, you got a cornerback, which is good for depth. I don't hate the pick. It's just that a receiver would have been a lot much better. Now, you got Amari Rodgers. I think it's going to be really good, but we'll see. But I give it a D because a lot of the places to me, it was like a half-ass draft you guys did. You just did it just to do it, to try to appease to Aaron Rodgers, but he ended up getting more pissed off and almost left your organization.
Yeah.
Dummy.
So they basically did nothing but plug in the holes that they lost.
Correct.
They didn't really gain anything. So that's their offseason. The reason why I gave it a B is not only they got Aaron Rodgers back, also they plugged in the holes that they lost. There's not much more you can do. It's just now they don't got the extra stuff. They don't got their future stuff. So we'll see. So that's why I just gave it a flat out B. Whatever. There's to the success. In the guide I have if Rodgers is gone and if Rodgers returns segment. I'm gonna keep it in there just for just a laugh. But I'm just gonna go straight to the Rodgers returns one. They just have to do what they did last year. Just know how to defend a deep bomb before halftime. Mm-hmm. Like that's basically it. That's what cost them the game was that. So I mean, just be better, LaFleur, and then that's it. Like it's not rocket science. Now there's drama going on in the locker room for certain players, though. Like the quarterback and their starting wide receiver and their best pass rusher, and players like that are crying and then asking for more money and all that. So I guess I have to add in for key success, just cohesion and get rid of the distractions. You keep that in the locker room, eventually it's going to explode. So
yes, I agree. Yeah. I think this offseason has shown that there's clearly tension between the players and the front office, particularly Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is the leader, and most of those players play for him. They play for him. He's their leader, so they're going to rock out for him no matter what. Now, Matt LaFleur, it's your job to make sure you keep those egos in check. It's your job
Mm-hmm.
because you've been to 2 back-to-back conference championship games, both losses, by the way. But you're expected. You making the conference championship is like, okay, cool, that's whatever. You have to win it this time. Anything less than that is a failure. It's a failing season, and I think Green Bay Packers fans are getting tired of the failing seasons over and over again, not being able to put weapons in front of
You're gonna hear about this soon.
Yeah, I'm not putting weapons in front of Aaron Rodgers to succeed. So yeah, it's going to be very, very, very interesting how that goes. Also, we have to look at the keys to success.
Well, besides this repetition of last year, their line, they lost their starting center, and Bakhtiari's not gonna be back for the first half-ish of the season, maybe a little bit more. So you have a question mark at left tackle and a question mark at center. That needs to get fixed for y'all to do anything. I'll tell you right now. Otherwise, you should be fine. Your running back, course, fine. A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, you guys are fine. If Aaron Rodgers isn't, he should be fine. I just wish they didn't get Kyle. I wish they used Aaron Rodgers more. That's bothering me. But they'll be fine. They just need to get the tension out. They need to fix all the drama. And they need to hope their line holds up until Bakhtiari returns.
Yes.
And they'll be fine. Defensively is the same. So they're going to be fine defensively. So that's it, basically, yeah. Positive predictions, meaning their ceiling, 12-5.
Same, 12-5.
12-5, they're going to be one of the best teams.
13-4, they'll be up there.
Yeah.
Definitely they're winning the NFC North, by far.
But, yeah, if everything's all fine and dandy in the locker room, yes, it's going to be by far. And nobody has a shot.
Yes. Besides that.
Like maybe a full power Minnesota, but I don't know about that.
Besides that, we're done here.
Oh. We are done here.
Yes.
Wait for a minute for interview number 3.
This is the Sports Dynasty Podcast. I'm Trevor, and this is Juan, and this is your continuing coverage of the guide of 2021 of the NFC North. Today we have our returning Packer fan, our good friend Taylor. How you going, buddy?
Doing good, fellas. Good to be back with you.
Yeah, man. Your team in particular has had a very roller coaster offseason, to say the least, and we've been waiting to hear your take on it because woo-wee, but hopefully the storm has been weathered already.
Yeah, roller coaster is a good way to put it. It's one of those old bumpy ride roller coasters for me. Not much of an enjoyable roller coaster that go on from time to time, but yeah, just so much stuff that's happened. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, this happened twice, didn't it? You got Rodgers and then Favre before that. So you have a knack of having quarterbacks want to run away? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, so Favre retired 3 times, so it would have been, or he said he kind of hinted at retirement 3 times. So 05, at the end of that season, everybody thought he was gone after the Seattle game. 06, he cried in a post-game interview after the Bears New Year's Eve game, and 07, obviously, when he went on the podium and retired, and they eventually traded him that offseason to the Jets. So there was no point I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to retire. I mean, maybe he would have sat out, but he was never going to call it quits altogether. But yeah, it's just another typical situation of management and players not getting along. It's something that us Packer fans have gotten a little too familiar with our all-time great quarterbacks.
So what do you think of, now that you talked about management, so is there like a person specifically, or like what do you think's the problem in your front office?
Everything. I've had a lot of different thoughts throughout the offseason. I've tried to kind of stay away from it for the most part, just because, I mean, I've had so many thoughts back and forth.
Understandable.
Mark Murphy is the blame. Gutekunst is the blame. Rodgers is the blame. I've had so many different emotions week to week, day to day. So I tried staying away from it for a while, but looking back on it now, I mean, Rodgers, when he came back with this press conference, it was very well said. He did have a lot of time to say what he's going to say. As far as what he said, he made some good points. Some I would disagree with is the whole points about these players not coming back. It is a business. Really, besides maybe Jordy Nelson and Charles Woodson, a lot of those guys he named, the Green Bay Packers were a lot better off without them going forward. And some of those contracts, even with Jordy toward the end, wasn't that good. The only thing I'll say with Jordy is that they should have kept his contract instead of Jimmy Graham. I mean, I kind of first guessed that. I thought they blew that one badly. And then Charles Woodson, this is just me, but I don't think they blow a 12-point lead in the NFC Championship game back in 2014 with 2.5 minutes left if he's on the field. So I think, look, on hindsight, that was a mistake. But a lot of the stuff he said, I don't know. As far as the players go, they were better off. But a lot of the stuff he said, he came off pretty good, I thought. So my opinions maybe changed a little for the better for him. But as far as Gutekunst, there really isn't much to say. I don't know if Rodgers is, at least as far as what I've read, Rodgers hasn't called him out specifically. I'm sure he doesn't like him as far as drafting Jordan Love last year and a few other things. But I think a lot of the problems is with Mark Murphy, starting with last year where he said, don't be the problem, or I can't remember if it was last year or 2 years ago. He kind of said, don't be the problem. This year, he called Aaron a complicated fella. He actually quoted Ted Thompson, who passed away last year, the old GM, and he quoted Ted Thompson saying that Aaron was a complicated fella, which, yeah, I bet a couple years down the road, we'll hear Aaron's opinion on that. We'll say that was kind of a messed up thing to say, which, yeah, I didn't see the whole point of that. But, yeah, I think it's just a one-year thing. I have a hard time seeing that Aaron will come back after this year. I think they're going to trade him. And who knows? They might win a Super Bowl. He might be happy. And he has a lot of friends on the team. Mercedes Lewis, obviously Randall Cobb, Mason Crosby. Those guys are probably his closest friends on the team. So let's just see what happens in 2021.
I guess you're right. I was about to ask you about your future, too. You just went on at it, man. I like how ahead you are. We in sync. I like that. So, speaking of 2021, let's talk about this guide of what you think is going to happen this year. So, just like last year, it's going to be about you creating your offseason. What are the tracks of success for you to reach your highest potential? And then what is going to be your ceiling? So, let's start with the offseason. So, let's go with departures because you've lost some big players, namely your center. So, what do you think about your departures of your team?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a secret. David Bakhtiari is also going to miss probably the first part of the year. He hasn't set a timetable yet as far as when he's coming back, but they're facing some legitimate pass rushers even to start the first half of the season. And I've looked at the road schedule, and maybe I haven't looked quite as much as some of the other teams, but I have a hard time imagining some of these other teams in the league have a tougher road schedule than Green Bay. Of course, we get lucked out and get Kansas City for the 17th game at Arrowhead, so it's kind of how that works. But yeah, the pass blocking with these teams, it's going to be tough to keep Aaron up, a lot tougher than it was last year, I think, with a lot easier schedule. So if the first half of the year they block fine, I think that's going to be huge. And then I think the most important thing for Green Bay is guys like Darnell Savage, Rashawn Gary, who really started stepping it up late last year. Mm-hmm. I think if those guys can kind of take the next step, kind of like Clay Matthews did in his second year, I think this team can make another deep run into January. How far? We'll have to wait and see. So, yeah, between the offensive line and the young group, I think that's the biggest keys to the 2021 season.
That's a good comparison. I'm sure people forgot about Clay Matthews, how good, how savage he was when he could stay on the field.
Yeah, unfortunately for us.
Yeah, I know, with that beautiful hair. Yeah. So what about your draft? What do you think about your draft?
Oh, I mean, Stokes, the corner. I mean, everybody kind of thought he was going to be the guy to replace Kevin King. Of course, Kevin King is back, and it looks like all signs are pointing him to be the starter, which dismayed a lot of Packer fans with the Scotty Miller touchdown at the end of the first half of the NFC Championship game. But as far as, I mean, I think Stokes is a big unknown, but I think a lot of Packer fans have a lot of pessimism over just corners in general. Jair Alexander has worked out, but feels like 75 to 80% of the corners over the last 15 or so years have not panned out at all for Green Bay. So natural pessimism, but we'll just have to wait and see. Amari Rodgers, I think, well, obviously you brought back Cobb, which I think he's going to get a chunk of the playing time, at least to start the year. We'll see how he holds up injury-wise in production. I think Amari Rodgers is going to be a solid pick.
I like that pick for you guys.
He can just learn he can learn the offense year one. And I guess Josh Myers, the center from Ohio State. I mean, obviously, position need they need to replace Corey Linsley with. So didn't watch too much film on him, but with everything that Green Bay's done with the offensive line in recent years, Elton Jenkins has turned into a heck of a player. Offensive line has been a position of strength for Green Bay for a long time. So I think it has a trust factor with how Josh Myers and the rest of the group is going to be up there. So yeah, I think there's some sense of optimism.
All right, not bad. So what's your letter grade for your offseason?
Offseason, I mean, the way...
Especially since you have your quarterback. Now you know he's there, so now what's your grade?
If we're talking just how everybody acted, like between the general manager, the president, and Aaron, just as far as them acting like adults, they deserve an F. But as far as like what they did in the offseason, I think it was pretty good. I would probably give them a B. I mean, obviously we don't know anything about Stokes and Myers, Rodgers, but with Aaron Jones coming back, I think that's big, and everybody kind of just assumed that A.J. Dillon was going to be the full-time worker back there. But I think it's a good thing, especially with Matt LaFleur's offense. I think there's a lot of similarities with him and Shanahan, but I think the main difference is that LaFleur really wants to have that skill set at running back. A.J. Dillon, late in the year last year, proved that he can run people over, and I think that's going to be a very good compliment to Aaron Jones, just his getaway speed from certain linebackers. So yeah, I'll give him a solid B right now.
Yeah, I bet Tennessee remembers A.J. Dillon really well. So your track for success. So what has to happen for your team in order to reach their ceiling, their highest max potential for this season?
Well, the offense, I think the offense is going to be fine. I mean, just like any offense in the league, they're going to have off days. I think with the defensive coordinator, with Joe Barry, if they're just a little more consistent, I think that's going to go a long ways. And they have the players to do it. They brought, like I kind of mentioned with Rashawn Gary and Darnell Savage, as long as those guys kind of take the next step, Adrian Amos. So as long as everything goes okay with that, which everything I've heard it has, they said that the communication is a lot better with the defense. So if the defense is just consistent, is not giving up 43+ points like they have in some past playoffs over the past decade, I think it's gonna be okay. So offense, I think it's gonna be fine. I think you're gonna have weeks where offense scores 30, offense scores in the high teens. It's gonna fluctuate, but if the defense can be consistent, I think they're gonna have just fine year.
Okay, all right. So what about your ceiling? What is your ceiling? The highest the record you're going to have that you can get.
I'm a pessimistic fan by nature.
That's safe.
So, I mean, I'm just an NFC Championship loss. That's just how I am as a Green Bay fan over the last. I mean, they obviously they'd have the talent to win the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that, but realistically, I mean, it's what I expect. Probably just another run in January and get knocked out at some point. I just don't think they have enough depth on the defensive line. And it's just a lot of weird offseason. I don't know if the drama is just going to mentally take a toll on some of these guys. So, and new defensive coordinator, I've heard good things, but it's a learning curve with some of these guys too. So, NFC Championship game loss. That's how I'm going to go.
With what record?
Excuse me. I'm sorry?
With what record?
12-5. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a typical Packer year.
True. You're right.
Yeah.
Taylor, my question for you, Taylor, is what do you feel the state of the NFC North is? You've seen a lot of moves from your other divisional rivals. What do you think is the state of the NFC North? Like, is there certain teams in your division that you feel that the Packers should look out for? Do you see any regression, any improvement from the division? Like, what's your take on that?
Detroit's not a factor at all. They're rebuilding. Jared Goff trying to carry offense. Chicago, it's a bridge year. They're going to play Andy Dalton this year. I'm going to see what they have in Justin Fields. They have talent. I'm not going to dispute that. But as far as am I afraid of them, not really. Minnesota, defensively, I still think they kind of stink. I mean, I think a big question is with their defense. It was so bad last year. there's a lot of things I saw with them that I just can't unsee. Obviously, Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, that's going to be a solid offense, but Green Bay still, in my mind, still should be the heavy favorite. So Minnesota might go 9-8, Chicago around 500 too, Detroit 3-14. If I'm being honest.
On the schedule, or for your schedule, right? Not counting the divisional game, is there a particular game on your schedule that you are looking forward to the most? It could be one or more, but not divisional games. What game sticks out on your schedule that you're looking forward to?
Oh, let me take a quick peek. So,
our last NFC North guy did the same thing. Had to go to schedule and went through it.
They've so many tough road games. It's at San Francisco week 3. I think they should take care of New Orleans week 1. I mean, for Green Bay to get where they want to, I think week 3 is huge because I think San Francisco is going to come back this year. I think they're the real deal. So if they get that tiebreaker over them, it's going to be a Sunday night game on NBC. Yeah, early thoughts. I think that's probably one of the bigger games on the schedule.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Very, very tough.
That's definitely going to be tough.
Sorry about my raspy.
Oh, you good?
Going on.
That's cool, bro. You're good.
You're good. Don't worry about it, please. So now, what do you think is actually going to happen? What's going to be your record?
I'm pretty confident 12-5. Green Bay is a good team. They have talent. They're a good team. Just the schedule, it's just so hard.
It's tough.
Yeah, I think division 5-1. I'm feeling good about. They might get a hiccup at Chicago or at Minnesota, but I mean, just go down the line: at New Orleans, at San Francisco, at Cincinnati, at Chicago, at Arizona, at Kansas City, at Minnesota, at Baltimore, at Detroit. I mean, that's about as tough as you can get. So, I mean, as good of a team as they are, they're gonna slip up here and there with some of those. Those games.
I will say this: if they go 12-5 in this schedule, that's gonna be telling. No.
Yeah. And here's the one thing. Sorry, I want to mention one thing. Like, I think this year is going to be a lot about the Packers' mental toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Just losing 2 championships in a row, just the way they've lost them. I think they're talented enough to do it. I think if they make it to, if they win a Super Bowl this year, I mean, I think that's going to show so much about their mental toughness. Like, they physically have the talent to do it, but they've just gone years back to back. We'll see. 4 NFC championship losses since 2014. I think they have a mental hurdle they have to get over, and that's getting past the NFC championship game. And sometimes when you have a team like Cincinnati who can't ever win in the playoffs, and I got to them at some point, they're like, oh, we can't win in the playoffs. And then all of a sudden they fall apart toward the end of Marvin Lewis's tenure. So I think this year is going to tell us a lot about what Green Bay is mentally.
Definitely. I didn't even come to mind. They went to 4 AFC championship games in the last 7 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep, lost to the Seattle, where they lost.
Seattle, Atlanta.
12 minutes left. They got killed against Atlanta, killed against San Fran, and another heartbreaker last year at Lambeau finally, where they had a game in Wisconsin. They couldn't pull it off.
Damn, you got no gray hairs, dude? I would.
Hey, man, I 97. I mean, besides 2010, I mean, this has been the story. The Packers go deep and go middle January, get knocked off on a sad Sunday. It's my Packer existence. I don't know. In the 25 years I've been following football, I don't know who's had more tougher just playoff losses. I mean, definitely you could have a tougher life. You could be a Minnesota Vikings fan who doesn't win any Super Bowls. You could be a Detroit Lions fans that make the playoff. Everybody has it tough, but just as far as just simply losing playoff games, I don't think people have it. Many teams have lost more than Green Bay has. I think they got that on everybody.
Yeah, so I think that's worse than anything else.
Yeah,
that you're being teased, basically. Right?
I agree. Yep, that's
I'm saying. At least those teams, at least they know they suck. So there's nothing to expect. But if you're always right there, but never get over the hump, I feel you.
Literally 60 minutes away from
you get teased. Yeah, the hot girls flirt. You're like, maybe this year she'll be into me. Nope, fails every year.
It's a great analogy, though.
I'm with you.
It is. I wish we didn't have to end this interview on a note like that, but
other than that,
anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the way I think of it.
Sorry, dude.
Taylor, we appreciate you as always for joining us. again, we gotta do this again soon. But definitely keep in touch. Are one of our best, one of our loyal listeners. Always down to hold us down and everything. We appreciate you, of course, and we're gonna continue with this guide. This is fun. I actually really enjoyed this right now. But we appreciate you, Taylor. Thank you so much, bro.
Hey, pleasure's mine. Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Always love talking football with you.
Hey, buddy.
See ya, man.
And now we're good.
Cool. Besides that, make sure you like, share, subscribe. We're on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play Radio, Stitcher Play Radio, at Podcast Dynasty on Twitter. We are on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you check us out.
Go join the group.
Yes, the group is growing, and we appreciate those who join the group, who are posting and interacting with each other. We love it. We encourage. We encourage you to.
Why are you getting louder?
Post.
I'm telling you, love chop chop.
I know. That's pretty funny. We actually encourage you. We encourage you to share, post your team, post your fandom, post it. We love it. We love seeing it. And we encourage everyone to do it as well. You make this group much more enjoyable, and we're only getting bigger and bigger. We thank you all for being there and supporting us from the jump. Invite your friends too, man, because it's gonna be great. Yeah. Besides that,
like the business page.
Yes, like the business
page.
Rate.
Give us 5 stars, I hope.
Yes.
Comment. Do it.
Yes. 2021 is gonna be. We're looking at a pretty big move for the podcast, where opportunities are coming our way, and we're just happy and blessed that we've been able to entertain you and inform you and entertain you as well. But a lot of opportunities is coming our way, and we can only make this bigger, and we're glad you're a part of it. Other than that, peace, love, and episode.